Reloading on the water here. Whoa. Oh. Okay. Oh. Peeps, what is up? We have a fantastic Dram King fight. We got Artbeg, one of my favorites, versus Lafroig. I must say it's not one of my favorites, but we're here to see if Lafroig or Artbeg is better. So to start things off, we got the Lafroig 10. That is sitting at 43% ABV. We got the Lafroig 10 Sherry Cask Finish. If you haven't seen the last video, I determined whether or not the original versus this is worth the money. Go check that out if you're interested. This one's sitting at 48%. We got one of my all-time favorites, Artbeg 10. This one's sitting at 46%. I don't know what it is, but it seems like Artbeg likes to stay around that 46% ABV. We got the Ardbeg Anoa, 46.6% ABV. So we're going to be comparing these two. We're going to be comparing the original 10s against each other, and then the cask finish against each other. So for those who don't know, Anoa from Artbeg is finished in PX sherry casks. So we'll see which one is better. Let's get to it. Lafroig 10 and Artbeg 10. Just based on the color, Lafroig 10 does look a little deeper in color. This is like, Artbeg is like you're very hydrated. Lafroig is telling you should probably drink some more water. Ooh, Artbeg's got that deep mesquite, backyard country barbecue smoke. I'll be honest, it was kind of hard to smell much of anything from the Lafroig 10. I am getting a little bit of peat smoke now, but on the Artbeg 10 you get a little bit more sweetness as well as the deeper smoke. So Artbeg 10 wins the nose. Let's start with the Lafroig. It is very nice. It does have like a slight sweetness to it, like a butterscotch or maple syrup, a caramel a little bit, but mostly it hits you with the peat at the end. On the beginning of the palate, it's very soft, velvety on the mouth. If you haven't seen the last video, I think we determined that it was chill filtered, which, hate it or love it, it is what it is. Where Artbeg 10 is non-chill filtered. So let's see what this mouth is like. Let's see what the palate is like. The Artbeg 10 is very rounded. Once it touches the tongue, it immediately portrays the sweetness. And then as it goes through the process, you get more of the peat smoke. And then the peat smoke is what you end with. And the peat smoke is, I would say, a little less of like ocean saltiness. It's more of the meaty barbecue kind of smoke, where this is more on the, where the Lafroig 10 is more on the oceany, salty, briny smokiness. Artbeg 10 still on the nose. It's so much more intense. Oh, there's so much more going on in the Artbeg 10. Let's try out the Lafroig 10 again. The issue I have with Lafroig 10 is nothing is happening on the forefront of the palate. When you swallow or keep it in your mouth for a while, it starts to begin that process. But with the Artbeg, let's try it one more time. It starts immediately. I get in the seat and the roller coaster goes off. We're in the Laphroaig, I get in the seat, I'm sitting there in my straps, and I'm waiting.
Hello there.
For some reason, the dude is not pressing the button. And then he finally presses the button and I experience the ride. With the Artbeg, he gives me no chance. I sit down and we're off on the ride. The Artbeg 10 beats the Laphroaig 10. So now we are comparing the Laphroaig Sherry Cask versus Ardbeg Noah PX Sherry Finish. So just based on the color, again, Laphroaig deeper in color, but quite a bit difference right there. If I can zoom in well enough. All right, this time we're gonna start with the Artbeg. On the nose, the sweetness kind of takes more of a forefront or a step forward, where the peat kind of steps back a little bit from the 10, and it kind of merges pretty nicely, where the sweetness matches the smoke, but the smoke is definitely subdued. Oh. That is a beautiful dram. It's not super complex, but perfects the basics. The combination of sweetness and smokiness, but the smokiness, again, is the more deep barbecue, meaty notes. Those match each other so perfectly. So we're gonna go into the sherry, Laphroaig. Ooh. You get much more of a candied sweetness out of the Laphroaig. The candied or the sweetness is much more above the smokiness that I can find, but it smells very good, very tasty. The sweetness is definitely a step forward of the peat on this one, where this one kind of matched the sweet and the smokiness. Okay, that one was a very good experience. So you take the smoke and the sweet, you combine them, and immediately it turns on the palate, and then it stays the same all the way through. I'm still getting the sweetness and the smokiness on the finish. There's no high and lows on this ride. It's like all high, you know? That's good. That's really good. Let's go back to the Artbeg. Kind of compare and contrast. The smoke still kind of matches the sweet. That hasn't changed at all. Oh! That is definitely a different ride. So you start off high, kind of like the Laphroaig. I'd say pretty comparable. But then the Artbeg has a spike, probably 3/4 of the way through on the palate. Kind of like a sudden drop in the ride. Like, not in a bad way, but in a good way. Like the experience goes up, but you go down kind of thing, you know? And there's that quick spike, and then it just finishes through on a high note. I will say the nose on the Laphroaig Sherry Cask is a little more pleasant. I do love my smoke and my peat, but having the sweetness on the forefront kind of entices me a little bit more. Both rides are fantastic, but For the Artbeg, that quick spike in woody, oaky spiciness, it just kind of changes the ride a little bit. Where the Laphroaig is very good, a phenomenal dram, don't get me wrong, but it stays there, where the Artbeg kind of gives you a little bit of difference, you know? But obviously, someone has to win. So, out of both categories, finished and not finished, Artbeg takes the crown. The Dram King crown. Let me know down in the comments below if you prefer Laphroaig or Artbeg. Honestly, on the sherry finish, I could have gone either way. I'm gonna toast with the Artbeg 10, a classic, non-chill filtered. May the roof above us never fall in, and we friends beneath never fall out. Salute. That's a good ride. This is like, Artbeg is like you're very hydrated. Laphroaig is telling you should probably drink some more water. So let's see what this mouth is like. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, big snow. Yes, oh, you're a little cutie pie. Alright, go. Seems like every video you desire to be in it. Is that true? Yeah? Okay. Well, getting back to it.